Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my podcast, Snack Thoughts. I say again, welcome to my podcast, Snack Thoughts. And what is my thought for tonight? Well, I know that probably many of you have heard of what has happened with the recent layoffs, and one of the companies being Tyson Chicken, where they've chosen to basically do massive layoffs and fire American employees and uproot the company and move it to another state. And what their plan is to replace those American workers with 52,000 migrants, illegal ones on top of that. And so if I was going to call this podcast or this episode anything, I would name it Displacement of Americans for Illegal Migrants, or Displacement of Americans for Migrants. And we all know that it's no secret about how these illegal migrants have been seeking to enter our country and seeking to enter through Texas, sanctuary cities, or states like New York, California, and my thing is this: at what point does it stop? Back in the days, politicians or the elites used to try to do things that were, I guess you could say, wrong or illegal. They would try to do it in the background or be more discreet about it. And now it's just basically come to a point where they are flat out pushing any agenda boldly in the face of Americans and for all the world to see. And they have no care, And then on top of that, with this displacement of Americans, you have to look at the rises of rent prices and housing. Then also how they're seeking to drive the middle class out of existence and into extinction, where they will be unable to afford a mortgage, or if you happen to be able to get a house, it may be a tiny house, or you may have to take something like maybe a 40 or 50-year mortgage, and probably something at a interest rate of maybe between 5 to 8%. So you wouldn't even get a chance in your lifetime to pay off the mortgage, and it would be either passed down to your kids, or either the bank or the lending company could repossess the property after taking all of these additional payments from you. And you never get a chance to own it or leave a legacy for your children, or your grandchildren, or great grandchildren. But it's displacement of Americans. Now, if you want to really understand my perspective and the angle and what I'm looking at when I say displacement of Americans, okay, you have the housing crisis. You have massive layoffs. You have food prices in grocery stores surging and going up to the point where they're considering introducing Americans to an insect-based diet. And I'm going to say it again, an insect-based diet, and trying to limit how much meat and poultry that we can have, while certain big wigs and even the country of China can buy up a bunch of farmland in the United States, whereas us as Americans, they don't even want us to have basically a pumpkin patch, to where we can start a garden. So they're basically seeking to take control from Americans, many of us that were born and raised here. And if I could maybe be a bit more specific, let's look at politics. Now, obviously, by now everybody's heard of District Attorney Fani Willis. I can call her, hey, Funky Fanny, for the nonsense that she's tried to pull in going after and doing a prosecution case against Donald Trump. And it's no secret that we are already know now, about her stealing taxpayers' money, or the illegal use of it, and paying her former lover, Nathan Wade, which was a former judge, but he had no experience in RICO cases or as a criminal attorney, but yet and still, he was paid the most on the contract than any of the other lawyers on the prosecuting team. Then you have Attorney General Letitia James up in New York, who I believe is in cahoots with this judge. I think it's Judge Angerman or something like that, where he set a bond, for Trump that was considered impossible to meet, of $454 million. And so if Trump doesn't meet this, by Monday, then basically Attorney General Letitia James in New York, they can basically try to move in and seize his assets. But supposedly, from what I understand, Trump is, I think he already made it got $500 million sitting on the side. So I think he should be able to make that bond, or either have the cash, to cover that. But what my point is that President Biden has stunk it up so bad in his presidency that the Democrats, they don't have confidence in a man or in a noteworthy candidate to be able to beat Trump. So what they figure that they can do, if you figure that you can't beat him, then try to keep him from running in the election, period. Keep him off the stage and keep him from running a campaign. And that tells me that the Democrats, they know what time it is, as the Democrats have begun to lose support of black voters. Something like supposedly 55%, what they're showing in the polls, are gonna move to vote for Trump, because they see that the Democrats have failed African Americans, and minorities. So they know they're on the losing end, and they cannot naturalize these illegal immigrants fast enough to get their votes. It's they are behind the power curve, and it's too late in the day. But when I talk about displacing Americans for illegal immigrants, I'm talking about the specific agendas that they have. You want to keep the middle class or Americans from being able to purchase a home. You want to make rent prices so high. You want to cause more Americans to become evicted and be homeless, but you can give illegal immigrants free housing for 2 years. And I'm talking about not cheap housing. They are going in, they're building facilities for them, modern facilities, with fitness centers and all of that. So you can give that to illegal migrants, but you can't do it for your own citizens that are homeless and those that need rent-controlled, apartments or living accommodations. Go figure. Tell me how that works. And so you have Tyson's Foods, and there's others that are doing mass layoffs, but you're going to outright give them their pink slips to Americans that work for companies for years, and then you're just going to up and just automatically hire illegal immigrants and hire them at a lower wage. Then plus you plan to give them free daycare and what they consider temporary housing for at least a couple of years. You tell me how that works. So basically what they're seeking to do is remove Americans from their post and basically maybe push them on some type of universal basic income, or just make them homeless and then just replace them with illegal migrants. Many, most of them, they have not entered this country the right way. You basically, busting through the gate. And understand something. I have nothing against, I said it again, I don't have any problem against illegal migrants or whether they're legal. If they are willing to come to this country and they're willing to pull their weight, I don't have a problem with it. But what I do have a problem with is when you bring in illegal migrants and you look at the crimes that they're committing. Many of them rolling up in here, gang affiliated, and, they're robbing and harming American citizens. This right here is our house. And when we go to other people's houses, we know how to act and how to conduct ourselves. So this right here is the Democrats and Joe Biden's policies that have caused this. And these illegal immigrants, they are steadily draining resources, off of our taxpayer dollars that we have to pay for. And then you throw into the mix that once again, under President Biden and the Democrats' policies, or I'll say President Biden, okay, you have money, to give to Ukraine. You have, let me see, you sending troops already over, got them in place in Taiwan. You're giving money to Israel, but you don't have nothing for your people at home, and you steadily bankrupting us here in the United States, but you still are continuing to print money and send it, to other countries and give it to illegal immigrants. Tell me, what type of sense does that make? And I've made other episodes where I said, hey, President Biden, can we get some of that Ukraine money? Can we get some of that Israel money? Can we get some of that illegal immigrant money? Can we get some illegal immigrant housing? Can we get some illegal immigrant daycare? Can we get some of that? Can we get some medical? Can we get a debit card where you're going to give us at least $1,000 a month? Can we get some of that? I'm quite sure Americans would like some of that. And like I said, I don't have a problem. If you're going to take care, of, foreigners coming into this country, then you ought to take care of home first. And I think it's a sad day when you have the Democrats and, like I said, under President Biden's leadership, where they are failing so badly that they are so scared that Donald Trump is going to win that they don't even want to let this man run an election campaign and get on the stage to compete, fair and square. Now I understand that neither party is perfect, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, which party you go for. You want to hear what each candidate has to say, but to try to go after a man, in my opinion, illegally, so you're going to try to either, if you can't jail him, then all right, try to take his money illegally, by setting a price or a bid that's so high. And even if he pays it, okay, then, and he wins the case in appeal, then that money will already be spent. And then more than likely it's going to be said that, hey, we don't have it. So I don't know, but that's just how I see it, and I said it before, about President Biden, and I'm going to say it again. He is like a man that is married to one wife, but he has a family at home with his wife, but he doesn't take care of his house, but he's at his mistress's taking care of the kids that he made by them. And like I said, right now, Biden and his policies are stinking so bad. It's like he's like an old man without his Geritol, falling asleep in meetings. And it's like he's taking a boo-boo in his Depends, and not aware of it, But that's just my take on it. And yes, I do. I have freedom of speech. So I am able to say these things. But it's just something to think about, guys. Look at what they're trying to pull. literally, you're going to take it from the middle class, or you are literally going to take it from another person to keep them from running, you know? Funky Fannie Willis, you know what I'm saying? And suspect and fraudulent Letitia James. And I'm calling it as it is, you know? How much can you lie and perjure and steal taxpayer dollars and still manage to stay on the case, you know? That judge, flat out, I don't care if you used to work for Fannie Willis or not, you know, you should have disqualified her. You know, but, you know, every dog has their day. And for Funky Fannie Willis, you know, and for that Attorney General, Letitia James, they will have their day. You know, you reap what you sow, you know, and for the Democrats and President Biden, it's like, hey, the Bible says, except a man strive lawfully, yet is he not crowned. You can't cheat to get a win in the White House by keeping your competitor from stepping on the stage and getting in the race. You know, if you Democrats, if y'all can't pull it off and you can't produce the goods, then it's like, hey, you just gonna have to chalk it up and cut your losses. You know, and for those of you that say, hey, you know, if Trump is running, that you guys won't vote. Well, hey, you know, if you don't vote, you know, then that's a win for the other team. But that's just my take on it, guys. But again, displacement of Americans for illegal immigrants, you know, and if illegal immigrants cannot come into our house and they don't know how to act, then don't give them jail time. Don't even, because that's tax dollars we got to pay for. They need to be deported. They need to be sent back and deported and let them kick rocks and go back to where they came from. But that's my take on this one. And the name of this podcast is Snacks Thoughts. That's SNAKZTHOUGHTS. And I also have a YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. That's EricBroadus YouTube. So please subscribe and join Snacks Thoughts and join my YouTube channel. And smash that bell to become a subscriber on my YouTube channel. Hit the like button to like the video. If you don't like it, hit the unlike button. But either way, leave a comment. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. My podcast, Snacks Thoughts, can be found on Acast, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Radio PBM, and a host of other social media outlets. But please push them out. Share them both. Snacks Thoughts and Eric Broadus YouTube. Share them with friends, family, frenemies, enemies, rats, bats, roaches, dogs, cats, whatever. Share it. Push it out, guys. Peace out. And I'll catch you on the next one later.